start the recording here. I just want to welcome everybody to the webinar. Thank you, everybody that's joining in, and anyone who comes in a little bit later, that's fine too. We'll just pick you up from wherever you come in on the conversation. We are so excited. We've done a lot of business webinars up to this point, and just so everybody's aware, these webinars, again, are open to anyone you want to invite. It's not just members of our organization. I'm happy to just try to provide any kind of training to anyone who has any interest in Young Living. And then we've been posting the last several webinars on the Oil Junkies YouTube channel, and that is also open to the public. So you're welcome to tell anyone about the Oil Junkies YouTube channel. Heather can send a link for it, but if you just type in, if you go to youtube.com and just type in oil space junkies, capital O, capital J, it will take you to our channel, and it has a picture of lemon oil, and I think it says bursting with something. Anyway, you'll see it right away, and you'll know it's our Oil Junkies page, and or channel, and you just click on that, and it'll have all the videos that we've been posting there, but specifically our webinar videos. So I'm going to turn the time over to Lisa. Lisa is with us, and she is much more of an expert on these products than I am. So I'm going to turn the time over to her and let her go from here. And if anybody wants to chat in a question, you're welcome to do that, and I'll try to monitor that. But we can also do an open dialogue. I think Lisa was mentioning that, and so we can have that participation as well. So I'm turning it over to Lisa. Go ahead.
How many people do we have on? Is it just according to what I see on the top here?
I think so. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, if anybody does want to have an open dialogue, so we can discuss some things that you're interested in, I'm completely fine with doing that. I can talk about some general information, but unless an individual has some specific questions, it's kind of hard to know how to answer exactly what you're looking for. So that's absolutely a possibility for me to be able to go ahead and address anything that anyone would like to talk about. Like I said, these little technology things are a little different for me. I'm used to doing one-on-one and talking, directly to people's faces. So this is very interesting for me. So anyway, I'll introduce myself just a little bit and tell you a little bit about my experience, where I come from in using the oil, so that you can have an understanding of my background. I think one of the things I do appreciate, and when Clifton talks about my experience, my expertise, I tend to think all of us are experienced and expert according to what we have known. I mean, all of us have an experience with something that somebody else hasn't had an experience with, and I've always enjoyed learning from other people. I don't tend to think that I know it all. I've had a lot of wonderful experiences, but I've always loved, especially when I've come to the Young Living conventions and different experiences or trainings with other Young Living members, and been able to share with them the things that I've learned, but then they've always experienced things that I haven't always known or done. And so it's been a great opportunity to learn from one another. So that's kind of how I see us all as a Young Living family. We have some individuals who are just getting introduced to the oils, and then there have been individuals who've been experienced them for a long time, but still are learning different things. The oils are fascinating. I always say that they are a journey. And then I guess my other love for Young Living is the fact that Gary and Mary have gone to extensive work and dedication to provide these oils, not just in the essential oil blend, but in nutritional products and in our personal care products, which I love, because then I can take those products into my life and use everything on a daily basis, and they're all good. They're all healthy. They assist me. They assist my family. They keep us healthy, clean, pure. They help me clean the house with natural products. So obviously you're experiencing, depending on where you're at, a lot of those benefits as well. Currently, right now, I will share with you that I am actually working with Young Living directly. I'm product management, so I have a lot of insight to how much work and effort Young Living is putting forth to making sure that these oils are exactly what they say they are. And it's fascinating. It's a wonderful experience. I've been to many of the farms myself, not necessarily through Young Living, but on my own as well. But I've been able to go to the Ecuador farm and experience the farm there, and the distillation process there. The Mona farm, some of those who are from Utah have also been able to go down to the Mona farm and see the lavender harvest. There's hyssop there, there's peppermint, there's clary sage, goldenrod. And so when you're able to make it to some of these farm experiences, the Highland Flats farm, we're getting ready to do distillation of the balsam fir within this next week or two. I love the Highland Flats farm. I love going up there. It is cold sometimes and a bit muddy, but when you're out there and you're working on the farm and you're part of the experience in the process, it is so rewarding to know that these oils are coming from the source that they say they are. And that's been interesting to me because I have been exposed to other companies out there that aren't necessarily able to have the connection or the awareness of what they're getting and what they're doing with it, and then in the long run, what somebody else is doing with their oils. So I've had a lot of experiences I've been involved with Young Living probably, gosh, my son is going on 17. So I got involved with Young Living when he was just a baby. My mom gave me my first oils before he was born. And interestingly enough, I think everybody has their own, like I said, journey and experience with essential oils, okay? I am kind of a saver. And so I kind of set my oils on the shelf, and I was like going to keep them safe because I didn't have the money to buy a whole lot of product. So my mom was very generous and she bought them for me. So this is 17, 18 years ago. And I kind of kept them safe on my shelf for a while. I'd use them a little bit here and there. I also used other company products and kind of less used them for aromatherapy because I was interested in that. It wasn't until I had my son and really started thinking, oh, wow, I've got to keep him safe and healthy, and I didn't want to use medications. So it was an experience for me to go from just having them, actually using them every day. And that's, I think, kind of the focus I wanted to do a little bit today is actually being able to inspire you to know that unless we have these and use them every day, the oils don't serve us. We can't get the experience and the result that we would like to if they're just sitting there. And sometimes we may not know exactly how to use them or what to use them for. Because it can be pretty complicated, but then keeping it simple is really important. I think keeping it simple to the point where we may have individuals that share with us information on how to use them. So anybody who's introduced you to the oils, if they've told you how to use them topically, aromatically, and diffuse them, or those that are dietary oils now, using them in food and in your water, or different ways to use them as a dietary. Maybe I'm just going to back up for a second there too, because those of you who may be new to Young Living, this whole topical aromatic dietary and having two different products, they're lemon topical aromatic and a lemon dietary. We, obviously those who have been around for a while haven't had to worry about this. Previously, we had lemon oil that was topical, aromatic, and dietary. So when we try to work with the FDA and be compliant, we try to go according to what they've asked us to do. And they recognize a oil as either topical aromatic or just a dietary. We can't put them together and combine them according to their classifications. So it's become a situation, obviously, where we have to distinguish the two. However, that lemon oil is still the same in both the bottles. Now, technically, we can't market it that way and position it when you're doing a program or marketing piece or anything like that. You can't say that a topical aromatic can be used dietarily. We still have to have that label, description, and the separation and classification. It seems a little bit redundant, but Young Living has done whatever they can to make it easier for you to be able to market it, or just to know and understand what we have to work with right now with the FDA and classifications. But historically, we haven't had to really worry about that. So we kind of just use that lemon oil for everything. You know, so I put it in my diffuser, I put it on topically, and I also put it in my water to drink it. So now we either buy the topical aromatic or dietary, or you can, if you're not marketing it, use that lemon oil that's topical aromatic for all three. Now, technically, should I say this? to you. I'm doing this as an education piece, not as a marketing tool. So in that respect, yes, I want to educate you and help you understand. Anyway, any questions that anybody has on that kind of FDA compliant situation that anybody would like to address or discuss? Because this has been, I'm going to be honest with you, somewhat challenging even for me, from a standpoint of being able to say most of what I wanted to about the oils and how to address different issues with the body, with the mind, with the emotions. I've for a long time, as a health coach and a licensed massage therapist, been able to say and address a lot of different things. And now I get to watch what I say and be a little bit more cautious. So I might have to ask Clifton to edit this video a little bit so that we can be compliant. And more than not, if we're on these discussions, we can discuss some things maybe a little bit more in detail, as long as we're not really publishing them and going to the extent where we're doing diagnosing and claims and things like that. So it's an interesting situation that we're kind of involved with now. We kind of got a little spoiled with Young Living and being able to say we wanted for a long time, which is really good. I'm glad that we were able to, express things a little bit more open. But now we want to address things in a fashion of discussing the oils and the products in a wellness above the line. And some of you may have heard that kind of concept from maybe our training team or maybe somebody who introduced you to the oils, but we want to talk more about how to use proactively the oils instead of addressing a disease or a dysfunction or a situation. Usually what I tend to call the situation or the issues that people are having are situations. So as a health coach, I've been a health coach for about 6 years now, a licensed massage therapist for about 10 years, and I've used the oils extensively in both those situations. So when I'm obviously working with my clients, I definitely address those issues and concerns. But I call them maybe situations if I'm trying to, describe those to other individuals. Okay, so let's kind of start back where I started. I'll share some of my experiences with you, and they can add to your experiences that you've had. And this is kind of why I thought it would be fun to have a discussion, because then I could hear from you and what you've learned as well. Some of the experiences I've had up into this point is with, interestingly enough, my first experience was with Joy Oil. Okay, I don't know how many of you like Joy Oil. You like it, Clifton?
I like Joy, yes.
You like it. Okay. I'll be honest, when I first experienced the Joy Oil, I was not a big fan. It was a bit too floral for me. And I preferred more of a woodsy smell, the citrus smells, some of those other aromas. So when I used Joy Oil at this time, I was actually going through quite a bit of stress in my life. And so I didn't really think it was going to help anything because it was a pretty intense emotional situation. So as I applied the Joy Oil and used it, after a few days, I noticed that I was actually feeling calm and peaceful. And when a stressful situation came, I said, it's okay. I'll just handle it. I'll work with it. And it really shocked me. Really kind of surprised me that I was able to respond in that manner. I thought it must be the oil. So I know that there's a lot of different oils that we use for emotional balance, which, to be honest with you, is so important in our day and age. The thing that I've learned and I've seen with a majority of my clients as a health coach, we tend to want to really address, especially when we're having any kind of weight issues, we want to address food, and we want to go to food first and foremost and kind of treat that as the issue. But it's really not. It's kind of like the secondary outcome is basically our primary food is our emotions, the way we address our physical, our emotional, our spiritual, mental abilities every day. And if those are out of balance, then we tend to not care what we eat and how we eat it. We may have a lot of good things around, but if you come home from work and you are emotionally and you're stressed or you're having a hard time in a relationship, you go straight to the bread, the chocolate cake, the chips, the crackers, the cookies, the things that are going to comfort you. And it's totally normal. It's completely normal. So as a health coach, I work on assisting people in making sure that the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the mental are in balance, and work on those things and their goals and ambitions with those things. And actually the oils are very powerful in this. They're extremely powerful in being able to help somebody relax, to adjust basically what you would call the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, which most of us are under so much stress that we're releasing adrenaline and cortisol. Our adrenals are out of balance. The parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system are out of balance. And so you're in sympathetic nervous system overdrive a lot all the time. And this is wearing and tearing on the different systems of the body. So the oils have the ability, their constituency and the chemistry in the oils are able to go into the body and serve the body in a way that creates the balance that we deserve. I have to watch what I say. I'm trying to figure out how to say what I want to say without crossing that line. Anyway, so at a cellular level in the body, the way the oils work create that balance and the healing that allow us to be able to function at a level where we're not responding with emotional situations and just consuming food, or responding in relationships and situations that are out of balance. Let's see, one of the other things that I experienced at the time I was pretty stressed out was a physical situation, a little physical situation, because stress can be so hard on the body that you literally start physically manifesting symptoms. I've seen a lot of people, of course, obviously, illnesses are one thing that will be very common when you're stressed out. And then if your diet is out of balance and you're consuming a large amount of sugar, especially sugar, because it's very hard on the immune system, you'll absolutely come down with whatever cold or sickness or bug or flu is going around. Okay. In fact, interestingly enough, I've noticed that a lot of people have been sick lately. One of my favorite things to take is on a daily basis, and this has oils in it. This has oils of Melissa. It has oils of rosemary, lemon, lemongrass. It's one of my favorites to do on a daily basis. Okay. I can be around a lot of people who are sick, and I just don't get sick when I'm taking the oils, when I do multi-greens, of course, when I'm doing my Ningxia Red, okay? The other things I love to take on a daily basis, also to assist my body in assimilating nutrition, or enzymes. Absolutely, every day, love to take my enzymes. Now, of course, if you're getting a diet that's high in fruits and vegetables, then you're getting some good enzymes from those. But most of us don't. We get a lot of packaged and processed meals, and we don't get enough enzymes from our food. And those enzymes are going to support our body in assimilating nutrition and eliminating the toxins. And when your body becomes compromised so much so that you're not able to assimilate nutrition and excrete the toxins, you become compromised, you become sick and ill physically, and then emotionally you respond in your life to different situations that are not healthy as well. Okay, so oh, sorry about that. Let me turn off my phone. So
can I add one thing to that really quick?
You absolutely can, yes.
I wanted to just throw in there that I love taking longevity a day, as well as a Super C. And I have found that if I take Super C and longevity every day, that helps me to keep from getting what I feel is either sick, or at least even worse, being sick if I do end up catching something. So those are my two products that I take, without question. And then there's always, I hope it's okay to say that if you are starting to feel a little bit worn down, Young Living has Inner Defense. Inner Defense is fantastic.
Yes.
I had started to, feel that way, and I actually was getting to the point where I could tell something pretty bad was coming. And so I started taking one Inner Defense every morning, and then one Inner Defense every night right before bed. And I think within 3 days, I could tell this isn't going to come and get me anymore. This is going away. And then I was able to just monitor with one Inner Defense every day after that for a little while. And I'm not taking it right now. I do take the longevity and Super C, but I think those are 3 other products that can be really, really helpful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think there's not one product that I wouldn't say is like amazing with Young Living. I really, like you, Clifton, I've had such amazing experiences with everything. And like I said, there are some that I do on a regular basis, and then some like Inner Defense. I do love the Inner Defense. I'll do that every so often if I feel like, there's some pretty intense things going on, or if I feel like I'm starting to catch a flu bug. And I do love the longevity too. That blend was created to support cellular health. Okay, that was absolutely supported to help the balance of the cell, to eliminate, to be clean, to be healthy, to be whole. I mean, frankincense is one of my favorite things in there. This is not FDA compliant at all, but my original experience of hearing about frankincense was all about DNA repair. Now, of course, you know, the FDA and those organizations and the doctors don't want you to be healthy, because then you won't go to be dependent on them and their medications. But when I've used frankincense, I all of that and more. In fact, do you want me to have my brother tell you about his frankincense experience?
Sure.
Okay, Jeremy, do you want to come tell him about your frankincense experience? He's got a great frankincense experience. He loved. Just tell him what you experience when you take frankincense. And then this is my little brother, amazing young man. He hasn't used the oils as much as I have, but we started giving him frankincense this last year. So one of the things he shared with us was the amount of energy and the mental support that he got every morning when he would take it. So anyway, I just love. I mean, I've had my experiences, but I love to hear others as well, because then it, you know, speaks from another standpoint. But what do you experience when you take frankincense? Yeah.
Oh, hi.
This is Clifton right here.
Hi, Clifton.
This is Susan. I'm not sure who that is, but.
Hi. I'm a heavy hauler truck driver. Lives on the road most of the time. I depend on a lot of coffee and some of the foods and everything that a lot of you disagree with, but my body's been accustomed to being at the gas stations, truck stops, that everybody's been brainwashed to believing that's how you live your day. But I find myself waking up and a few drops of frankincense, and I don't need my cigarettes and my coffee first thing in the morning. And after a long day of anxiety, I take a few drops of frankincense and I wind down, and my emotions and anxiety disappear. And even though I got a big load coming up the next day, I don't have to hide my emotions with other chemicals. I can rely on a few drops of frankincense and I'm good to go.
That's awesome.
So,
Worth every penny. Worth every penny of paying for that beautiful oil. So it's amazing.
So I like the way it makes me feel. I'm chipper, more excited. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know.
No, it absolutely does. And that's what I feel like I really love. I mean, we're all, like Jeremy said, you know, some of us are in a space where, you know, I've tried to be healthy for a long time, but that doesn't mean I'm any better than somebody who's just learning about oils. I love the fact that Jeremy's having these experiences and he's able to see the power of what they can do for him where he's at. You know, we all have good days, bad days. There's not, you know, an expectation of we have to live a certain way. I mean, I do love and appreciate that Mary and Gary, one of the things that inspired me about the company was they absolutely teach not just, oh, here, take this oil, it's going to do something for you. They teach how to live a lifestyle. They teach how to eat well, you know, to treat each other with respect. It was like a whole practice. And so, yeah, we're all learning at different levels to eat better, to do better things for ourselves, to exercise, to do those things that will, you know, support us each day, to live a happy life. And Gary says, you know, he wants us all to live to our highest potential. You know, one of the oils that he created is highest potential. He wants us to have that feeling of being the best of our best every day. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That is true.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it. It was very nice.
Didn't mean to walk in the end.
No, I know. It's okay. I didn't warn him that we were going to do
Just
something.
got off work, so.
It's okay. It's perfect as it is. I think that's the best. That's the best way to
So
do it.
Laura's asking, or wait, Brittany, this may be, or Brittany and Brandon. They're saying, do you just put a few drops of the frankincense in the vegetable oil capsule?
He just dropped it directly in his mouth.
I do 5 to 10 drops in the morning in my anxiety and my tobacco and my coffee intake disappear.
But you just dropped the 10 drops right in your mouth?
Underneath my tongue.
Under your tongue. Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Easy. I mean, you could do it in a capsule. To be honest with you, that's something that you felt better or worked for you.
Well,
You can do that.
I was just always on the go as a heavy hauler and go. And I just always felt refreshed, and glass of water after that. And here we go.
Okay.
Those some good things, huh?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to show you real quick one of the things I do with my multigreens. Do you
Yeah,
take
signing
multigreens?
out.
Okay. Thanks, Jerm. Appreciate it. So, Clifton, do you take multigreens?
I do take multigreens. I haven't. I think I've taken it for a little while, but I have taken them on a regular basis in the past.
Okay.
So
I do love it because I love greens. Okay. So one of the things that Gary's also taught, and you can read information in the Essential Dust reference, is all of our bodies obviously are a bit different. So the way we're going to respond is maybe a little bit different than somebody else. Some of us may need a little bit more oil, some a little bit less. Our constitution's different, our genetics different, our blood type is different. So that's why when somebody asks me, how many should I do? What should I take? I always say, well, there's a general guideline I can give you. But to be honest with you, everybody's individual, and we need to be in tune with ourselves and our body to be able to see how we'll respond. So always starting with less is better, and then moving into what we feel might work better for us is good too. So with the multigreens, what I do, I've been, what you might want to say, addicted to these ones, but I'll actually take the capsule. And this may seem odd to some people, I mean, because it does have the spirulina, barley, kelp in there. But they're actually, I mean, they're very good for you, but they taste good because they have the oils. Like Melissa's a little bit citrusy. So I'll open the capsule. I just separate it like that. Okay. And I actually will just eat the powder within there, all the nutrients in there, and I just eat it directly. Okay. So when I do that, then I actually have an empty gel capsule to then put some oil in. And then I could take some citrus oil or some cinnamon, some thieves, some oils in this capsule. I can fill it up with, if I do have some hotter oils, I'll put the V6 in there with it. But if not, if I have some oils that I just want to take, then I have a capsule. And I'm okay with buying the capsules from Young Living, but I've got a lot of capsules just because I eat the multigreens every day too. So it might be something you want to try. If not, it's okay too. But I do enjoy taking it that way every day. And it's been the one thing lately I've been doing quite a bit, and being around people who are sick, I have not been getting sick at all. So, which is interesting because I probably haven't had my Ningxia Red for the last few weeks like I normally do, for whatever reason, just getting busy and going with things. And I haven't had the pouch to grab it and carry it. So I've gotten a little bit busier. Anyway, so there's just some different ways you can utilize some of the products like the multigreens. I was going to share one of my other experiences when I talked to you about my initial experiences with using the oils and trying to figure out every day how to use them on a regular basis to keep my body healthy and strong. Hyssop oil was one. Not many people use hyssop. And so hyssop was one of those oils that came into my life because I had an issue. And most people might not want to use the oils on a regular basis if they don't have issues. You might not really think about, oh, well, I need to take care of the situation. I've got a cold, I've got a virus, I've got a flu or something like this. They always kind of wait until the body's compromised, and then we take things to try and, fix it. But hyssop was one of those ones I did. I had an issue after going through a similar period of time of stress, and I had a pain in my neck that I was experiencing. And when going into the doctor, which I don't generally do, but I felt like it was important because I didn't have any situation or illness that should have caused this. So they were concerned. They started checking actually for a cancer situation, had me come in for a blood test and everything. And they said the blood test looked okay. White blood count was okay. And that was like a Friday. They'd gotten the results. And so I'd gone home and I was still pretty frustrated because the pain was really intense. And I'm not the individual to want to take an ibuprofen or anything like that. I never did when I was younger for whatever reasons. And so I came home, and my mother, who, got me involved with Young Living, she felt through one of the CDs that she had heard Gary talk about hyssop and how it was an oil that cleanses and purges. And so she felt like that was something that would help me and benefit me. And a lot of times too, the other thing that I experience and express with people that are using the oils or the different products is you may read something in a book like the EDR or, you know, a book, or hear somebody use something, but paying attention to your own inspiration is really important too. And obviously that's what my mom did at the time. She had heard something, but she felt like that's what I needed to use. So I took the hyssop and I put it on my neck, and then I put it behind my ear and applied that just every hour before I went to bed. Now, this was a pain that had been lasting all week long, and I couldn't like function during the day because the pain was so intense. I couldn't go to sleep at night without taking painkillers. It was just really intense, and I didn't know for sure it was, and it was making me nervous. Anyway, so I went ahead and used that hyssop that night, and I did what's called, some of you may be aware of what's called a hot compress. Now, a lot of the medical societies actually told us that we can't use the hot compress, the warm compress, in the raindrop. I still like to use it. But this warm compress is where you take a towel and you put it in some pretty warm water, not so hot that you're going to burn yourself, but you get it warm and you wring it out, and then you can take that warm towel and you can place it where you put any of the oils. Now, if you used an oil like, or even the raindrop has oregano and thyme in it, if there's any cinnamon that you used or lemongrass, then you want to put a V6 over that. Some of the other cooler oils that the constituents are mild, you wouldn't have to worry about it. But with hyssop, I didn't. I just put the hyssop directly on. I may have even taken some internally, just dropped it in my mouth, a few drops to take care of the situation I was dealing with. But I went ahead and put the oils on at night, a few different times every hour, went to bed with a warm compress on my neck and then a dry towel on top of that. And I fell asleep that way, okay? Not knowing what to expect, you know, at all. I just did it because, you know, my mom had told me to do it. So in the morning, I woke up and the pain was gone, completely gone, which obviously I was ecstatic. I was just like, you know, extremely grateful that I didn't have to go back to the doctor and try and determine if this was, you know, anything really serious. But I was just happy to have it relieved. I probably should, you know, it would have been interesting to go have it checked and see what it was, but it was gone and it's never come back. So it's one of those situations that sometimes you may not know how to use the oils or the products, but just doing it and actually just starting to engage, you may find out that you can ask questions or, you know, read a book or, you know, look up some information online and learn how to read it. But follow your intuition as well. I think it's really important because I think internally we do know. And little by little, as you start to experience the oils and how to use them, how to apply them, what to do, you'll know what to do and you'll have the confidence enough to do it more. Even just diffusing on a daily basis really does make a difference. When my kids would be sick when they were little, my daughter caught RSV. And usually with infants at 6 months old, they're in the hospital with RSV. With my daughter, I just simply slept her up in a swing and I diffused purification and Theve. And I just had that going throughout the night. And I probably did some RC and some peppermint on her feet to keep her from coughing or being too congested. With infants, I did a lot with just being on their feet and dilute it down. Very basic, nothing too intense. But she got rid of that RSV in 3 days. She didn't end up in the hospital. There was no complications. In fact, she's one that, to be honest with you, I haven't vaccinated, and she's healthy and strong, and she constantly responds to the oils immediately. It's never about being sick for 3 days, 3 or 4 days. She's been very, very healthy. And I know that, you know, obviously that's all obviously a totally different direction, but because I didn't vaccinate her, it's much more important for me to make sure they're getting a good, healthy lifestyle. You know, I can't just not do that and then go off and feed them junk food and sugar and things that are going to compromise their immune system or their body. So anyway, that could be a whole different discussion for another day. Let's see.
Let me just say really quickly, this is probably because we're using the free version of Zoom. It's giving me the message that we're going to have our meeting time in a minute and a half.
Oh, stars.
So if this shuts down on us, I can start another meeting and we can just start the same meeting again and everybody can come back in on it. It'll probably kick you off, but you can come back in on it. I just want to warn everyone that in a minute, now it's down to a minute and 7 seconds. So
well, is it
we'll
possible?
go as long as we can.
Yeah. What I would be interested in seeing just really quick is those individuals, if those individuals on here or watching this later could let us know specifically what products they want information on and what education would assist them in being able to utilize the products better. So,
Okay.
I mean, we can continue discussion. That totally works. But if everybody's got things to go do, we can always, but I would like feedback. I think getting feedback would assist us in being able to describe exactly. There's so many things to talk about. That's why, you know, can be really lengthy and engaging. So if we get more details, we can know exactly where to help you. We can talk about detoxification or things to help clean the house or ways to help children or, you know, animals, you know, so there's so many things we can talk about.
I did have one chat saying, can you tell us the product you take every day?
So it can change. I mean, I think me and Clifton kind of touched bases with a few things, but I'm going to be